Welcome to Truth and Company Podcast. I'm your host, John the Truth Dioria, and today we got a great show for you. We got one of my favorite comedians in the Twin Ports coming on. I'm so excited. He just recently won the funniest person in the Twin Ports contest for 2025. If you ever get a chance to check him out, definitely go see his stand-up. You can find out a lot of what he's doing on his Facebook page, or go to twinportscomedy.com. It's right across the bottom of my screen. Definitely go check out the website after the podcast, and you can see what a lot of other comedians in the Twin Ports are doing as well. There's about 4 or 5 different places in the Twin Ports that a lot of these guys are doing stand-up on a regular basis. So if you guys love stand-up comedy, definitely date night, go out by yourself, whatever, go out as a group of friends, but definitely go support Twin Ports comedy, local comedy. Everybody needs a good laugh right now with everything going on in our society. So definitely start checking these out. They're different days of the week. There's also open mics. But like I said, I prefer to go to the Caddy Shack, honestly. That's my favorite place to go. There's the Gopher Hole. I know there's a few other places as well. So definitely go to the website and check them out. But once again, I want to bring this man on. Like I said, he definitely earned that award. He is one of the funniest men in the Twin Ports. Let's bring him on right now. Comedian Brekken Thompson.
Hey, how's it going?
I really appreciate you taking time, man, getting out of bed early on a Sunday morning to come on the podcast.
Of course. Thank you for inviting me.
So listen, I just mentioned that you're the winner of the funniest person in the Twin Ports contest of 2025. How did that feel when you won it?
It was very fun, a very stressful night for sure, just having to go up against all the other extremely funny people in the scene. But it was a really fun night, and being on stage, it almost felt like unreal. I felt like I was going to poop myself or something. It was crazy.
So you actually just showed what you won, which is the golden mic. And I have to ask, I'm sure your sex life was not that great before, but listen, has the golden mic helped you get laid in the last month? Now, come on, be honest. When you go and tell ladies that you got a golden mic, they want to see it.
I think I've probably got problems that a golden mic can't fix, but we'll see. I'll just start carrying around with me everywhere I go. I'll flash it at a club to get in through the door.
That would be a great pickup line. You tell them a joke, and then you just go, would you like to talk into the golden mic?
Oh, would you like to talk in the... Okay. Wow, that was a good one. You could be the officiator at the wedding. That one's going to help me.
Well, hopefully it's going to help you down the stretch, and hopefully you're going to win many more competitions coming up. And but let's talk about, for people that haven't seen what you're doing or haven't seen your stand-up, like we just mentioned, you perform at a lot of different places all over. Now, how far do you actually go? I know you were just down recently by the Twin Cities, Minneapolis. Do you go outside of Minnesota at all?
I have not. There used to be a mic in Superior, Wisconsin, and I would used to do that. But for Madison and places in Wisconsin like that, I've never done anything like that. I know some of the Twin Ports comedians went up and did a show up in Canada once, which seems very interesting, but I have not had that opportunity yet. But one day I would love to just see some of these cool little clubs all around the country. That seems fun.
All right. And now recently there was what's called the Heckle Mic going on at the Jade Fountain in Duluth. If anybody attended that, you were actually the creator and the host of that. But that seems to be kind of winding down. But tell me about that a little bit.
Yeah, that was I think that was a very fun moment in the history of Twin Ports comedy. We really had everybody there together. They were just saying whatever they wanted to anybody on stage. It was fun. I was the host, so I got the worst of it. I was called a medium Sheldon a few times, not Sheldon from the Big Bang Theory, not young Sheldon, somewhere in between. And that one hurt. Somebody said I had the personality of a theater kid and the body of a theater kid. That one was Slenderman. Was thrown out there a few times. But it was all coming from a good place and all just done between friends. And all those shows that we did, the audience really loved it. So it was just a really fun time. And the audience was throwing them out too. There's somebody in the audience, one of the comedians, a local guy, Bob Astrack, got on stage. And he's a bit of like a shorter individual. And somebody in the audience just goes, "Finally, somebody who's unheckleable." And we all just started laughing at that. It was...
On a serious note, though, I almost forgot about this, so I just want to go back to a serious note real quick before we continue. When I was doing research for the podcast on you, you know, I looked up Google, went online, went on your Facebook page, and different things I could come up with. And honestly, I'm a little disappointed with you, Brekken.
Why is that?
Because I could not find a criminal record anywhere online. First of all, wait a minute. No DUIs, no drunk and disorderly, no drug charges, no sleeping with underage girls in hotel rooms, no urinating in public, no exposing yourself in parks. What the hell kind of comedian are you?
I did it all in Wisconsin, different state system. Harder to check the records.
Well, hopefully, you know, soon we can at least get an indecent exposure at the Caddy Shack or peeing on Curly's wall or something, the bar next door. I mean, at least give us an underage girl in a hotel room, something to go to social media and talk about.
I think I'll leave that for some of my other comedians. I'm sure Pete Hanegraaff will step up and take the reins on that one, and I'm glad to let him do it.
Yeah, I was shocked. I thought, you know what? A lot of comedians, they end up with records and like a lot of the different things I just mentioned. That's why I mentioned them, because other comedians, big name comedians, have had those issues, and I couldn't find anything on you.
I'm working on it. It takes time. I haven't been disorderly enough, I suppose. It's something that I'll aspire to in 2026. I'll put that in my New Year's resolutions.
I mean, even just exposing yourself in a park at least once.
I can work. Probably not during winter. I don't want any photos getting out of something like that. But maybe in the summer, after taking some stimulants, we'll see.
Okay. All right. So, do you do any impressions?
I do some impressions. I can do like newscaster and such like that. I can do some other voices too. I can do Shaggy and Scooby-Doo, like, "Who likes Zoink Scoob?" Just fun stuff like that I people that I liked in my childhood, and I've watched enough. I can usually do some things like that.
Now, recently, you guys, you and Bob, you mentioned Bob. Well, I shouldn't say recently. You guys started it over a year ago. It's a YouTube page, but now you're getting some more material back on the YouTube page. It's actually called Bob and Brekken, right?
Mm-hmm. We're doing sketches, and we're going to try and do one a week for a full year. So we've done 2 now, and we're going to see if we can just do it. It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, I've actually seen the Elvin Behind the Music one, and I thought that was really great. I loved it. So
it's just hanging out with Bob and shooting him is so much fun that it's just a good time. So
let's back up a little bit. Why comedy? How did you get involved in the comedy?
I don't know. I had it's something I always wanted to do. It was like something I grew up watching, like everybody else. I loved the old like Conan clips on YouTube, Jimmy Fallon Tonight Show clips, and just it was something that I fell in love with. And then when I moved up here to Duluth, to a bigger city, and there were mics available, I was like, you know what? Might as well check it out. I went on stage, and I've gone like every single week for over 2 years since then. It's just something that it's just so fun. And it's something that I enjoy doing.
So you said you've liked it like since. So when you were a kid, did you used to like try to do stand up in your living room for your parents or things like that?
Not for my parents, but I remember just like on my phone writing jokes, just about probably at like 15, writing jokes, probably not very funny ones, but just about things that were around me in my life and sort of stuff like that. I remember when I was like 10 years old, my grandmother was showing me like the Blue Collar Comedy Tour on VHS. So it was just something that had always been in my brain as an interesting art form.
So did you keep a lot of that though to yourself? Because like you just said, you used to do it on your phone, or did you have a lot of friends that would encourage it and tell you that they thought you were funny?
I sort of came from like the middle of nowhere, sort of really small town, and to get to probably the nearest mics were in the Twin Cities, which was like an hour away, and that's a lot of like dangerous traffic and stuff like that. So I didn't really have the opportunity to like practice the jokes in front of anybody, so I didn't really tell anybody. I had a lot of friends who I was able to joke around with and do stuff like that, but we just didn't really have any access to any mics, especially coming from a small town.
Okay. So now let's talk about this Twin Ports podcast a little bit too. If people want to check that out, they can go to twinportscomedy.com. It's something that you and some of the other comedians in the area kind of just get on there and just bullshit, basically.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. I did a lot of those during the summer. It's just, I like doing stuff like that because it's just being able to hang out with your comedy friends and making them laugh. And I feel like there's always good hosts for that show, and it's just even if you aren't in Duluth and you don't understand like what the lift bridge is or anything like that, you can still have fun just listening to all the banter and jokes that are flying.
And I am a big supporter of Twin Ports comedy, by the way. I am actually wearing my t-shirt that was thrown out to me from a comedian at a show. So I do honor it, and I wear it proudly. And now that
Amazing.
I found out that you guys actually have sweatshirts, I will be purchasing a sweatshirt as well. But anyway, you have one?
Somewhere in this room. It's a bit messy. I'm not gonna lie. I keep a bit of a messy room, but better than indecent exposure. So
listen, if you start showing that golden mic around, you might have a woman over there to clean that room.
Now you're thinking.
All right, so you ready for these random 20 questions, Brekken?
Yes, I am.
All right, question 1. Can you tell me about your background and your upbringing a little bit?
I grew up in a small town called Mound, Minnesota. It's out in the middle of nowhere, maybe like an hour west of the cities. I have 2 parents who are very, very kind. They're also both pretty funny, so I feel like that's where I got it from. My dad especially has a lot of jokes. He's a character, and I graduated high school, moved up to Duluth to do marketing here at the University of Minnesota Duluth, and I have been loving that ever since. I really like Duluth. I think it's a great town. It's nice to be in a bit of a bigger city for me. I like big cities.
Okay. All right, question 2. Who's the one person that if you sat that was in the front row of your stand-up comedy would make you feel uncomfortable?
Ooh, uncomfortable. Probably somebody. If somebody had like a massive head wound, I feel like that would be a bit distracting. If there was a naked person in the front row, I feel like that would, I don't know. There's a lot of interesting stories that I've heard about people showing up to comedy shows like drunk and falling asleep. I wouldn't want one of them. Or like somebody in my life that I'd believed to be dead. Like if my grandfather showed up, that would be terrifying. Like any sort of zombie situation I'm looking to avoid.
Okay. All right, question 3. If you became a superhero, what would your name be and what abilities would you have?
Wow. The ability to, I've always liked being super fast. I feel like that would be really cool. I mean, think about that. You could do a show in Canada and a show in Mexico on the same day. If you had that speedster ability, you could just fly, I guess, fly on the tar, just going really fast. I've always liked the Flash and stuff, so I feel like I'd be something like that. Name's hard. Maybe you could be Punchline. You could run really fast, and then if you got close to somebody, give them an upper punch. Throw out a quip. That could be a fun little gimmick. If there's any comedy comics in the chat, comic makers, that could be cool.
Okay. All right, question 4. Have you ever tried online dating?
Online dating, I have not. But
well, you look like a guy that would be good at it.
I don't know. I feel like it would be pretty hard. I feel like you kind of have to think about jokes for every single person's name. You sort of have to play the comedy aspect in something like that. So maybe I'll look into it in the future, but we'll see. Now that I've got the golden microphone, like you've said, that's a way in the door.
Yeah.
That would just be my only photo on the on all the photos on Tinder. It would just be 7 photos of the golden mic and then 1 photo of the cash prize. So
you've heard it, ladies. Brekken Thompson on plentyoffish.com.
Plenty of Fish
with the golden mic.
By 70 years old, Plenty of Fish. Oh my goodness. That's awesome.
There is one called plentyoffish.com.
Oh my goodness. Does it match you up with people or fish or like somewhere in between?
It's people, but they kind of look like fish, some of them.
Some of them smell like fish too, I've been told. But
that's possible too. I'd be willing to bet on that too. All right, question 5. If you could have dinner with any 4 comedians, alive or dead, who would it be?
My sort of 4 top comics of all time, and I feel like they'd be great dinner guests. I'd go with Conan O'Brien, David Letterman, Norm Macdonald, and Don Rickles. I feel like that would be a very fun table, and I feel like they'd be able to keep the energy going. Lots of solid quips all around. I'd probably leave with like an hour of new material just from all this stuff that they would make fun of me for.
Nice. All right, question 6. If you could hold any record in the Guinness Book of World Records, what record would you hold?
Probably, if we're looking at this like an opportunity, probably most amount of money ever held by a person. I feel like that would be a good one. Richest person ever, not a bad one to have. Also, I'd want to be a good juggler. So pick one of those 2. Richest man in the world ever or most impressive juggling act. I feel like they're sort of both equally important in my life. So
can you actually juggle?
I'm aspiring. I wish I can do it with the 1 ball now. I'm trying to work my way up to 2. We'll see how that goes.
So once you get maybe 3 or 4, are you going to add that into your comedy act?
I've seen a comedy juggler. There used to be a Duluth comedy juggler. It was an interesting thing. He'd play on his phone. He'd play songs. He'd play like Kenny Jogging's Danger Zone, and he'd juggle glow-in-the-dark balls, and it was sometimes it worked. Sometimes he'd drop all of the balls and stare at us like it was our fault. It was an interesting character.
All right, question 7. If comedy was illegal, what crime would your jokes get you charged with?
Comedy was illegal. Probably, like you said, I've been trying to go for an indecent exposure record soon, so I'll probably write some jokes where I don't know, clothes are flying. You got your shirt that way. I feel like you got to go with something like that. Indecent exposure. I feel like that's a good if comedy was illegal. That's something to aspire to as well in the Big 26.
Okay. Question 8. If you were offered a lot of money to star in a porn movie with one of the Muppets, which one would you choose and why?
One of the Muppets. Wow. I feel like Miss Piggy, the obvious choice here. I feel like I've put some thought into this outside of the podcast. This is just something that I think about on the daily. But Miss Piggy's the obvious choice. I'd go with just a bit of a sleeper pick. The female band member of the band, the blonde one. I feel like she was always just a very laid-back, chill person. I'd go with her. I don't know her name at the moment. I feel like, but I know she's part of that group, the instrumental.
Band with Animal or the other band?
Yeah, the band with Animal. There's Animal. There's Dr. Teeth. There's a guy who plays saxophone, and there's the blonde Muppet. She would be my pick.
Okay. Well, you wouldn't need to know her name if it was a porn, anyways.
Yeah. You sound like you have some experience working on some of those sets. What? What's up with that, huh?
A whole different podcast.
Okay.
All right. Question 9. If you caught someone robbing your house, what would you do?
I would, I'd like to imagine that I'd fight. More realistically, I'd probably jump out the nearest window and run. You know, it just depends. If they're smaller than me, maybe I'd try and go for it. But if they're taller, maybe I'd just have a great rest of your day, safe as in the basement. You know, it's just
He
You
said, I'd
don't
like
want
to imagine that I would fight. Do you have any fight skills, Brecken? Because you don't look like you can fight your way out of a paper bag, dude.
never been into a fight. I'd feel like maybe I'd challenge him to a roast off. I feel like if you can get his self confidence low enough, maybe he'd leave the house willingly. But never been to a fight yet. But 2026, we're gonna see.
So now, when you say an actual fight, like you've never actually been even like punched in the face?
No, no, I haven't. I know that might be surprising to most because I do have a very punchable face, but I've done my best to avoid getting smacked around.
Well, you never know, man. If you start hanging around those bars with that golden mic, you might pick up some lady that's willing to smack you around a little bit.
I suppose so. I don't know. I don't know what type of things you're into here. I feel like this has been a big truth for you this episode. Maybe it's been revealed, but I feel like yeah, lots of opportunity. I'm having my eyes open to the possibilities of the future with this golden microphone. Seems like a golden ticket, you know?
Exactly. All right, question 10. If you had to spend 30 days in a jail cell, what WWE wrestler would you choose to be your cellmate to protect you?
I wish I knew more about the history of WWE right now, because I guarantee you they've done some crazy arc where one of the guys has been sent to jail and he's have to like fight Vince McMahon to get out. Undertaker, a bit of a but he's old now, you know. You got to go with somebody current. Rey Mysterio Jr. I feel like is a bit of a he's one of the ones that I feel like he's got potential for the future. I feel like they wouldn't let him lose a fight if we're going on the script here, and I feel like if we're going off the script, he's a muscular guy. He's got the family connection. I feel like his name would carry some weight in prison. I feel like I'm going to go with him.
Okay, so you'd feel safe as if he was your cellmate then.
Yeah.
All right, question 11. If you were to put out fake news about yourself just to mess with social media and your fans, what story would you put out there on social media?
I feel like me catching an indecent exposure charge. That's what I would want the world to know. And I feel like today has given me the perfect opportunity to just let the world know that's something that I'm striving for. So now when they see that article, it's a little bit more believable.
Okay. All right, question 12. What is something that your fans don't know about you?
I don't think that there's anything that my fans do know about me. I'm not sure that I have a large menagerie of fans. I wear contacts. That's a fun fact. I'm wearing one contact right now because the other one fell out. But I'm a contacts and glasses guy. I can't see very well. And I feel like I ditched the glasses because it would add to the face punchability that has been touched on today. But I am a contacts wearer. So all the other glasses supporters out there, I see you. I recognize John. I'm also a glasses man myself.
Okay. All right, question 13. What is the weirdest thing you have ever eaten? And before you answer this, you cannot say penis because that doesn't count.
Interesting that your mind went there for me at first. I'm not sure how that makes me feel, but you could have said something about a female, but immediately penis. I've been to, I was just recently in Britain. I had some, we went to like a Chinese all-you-can-eat buffet, and I had some very good.
Wait a minute. You went to Britain, the country Britain, and then went to a Chinese buffet?
Yeah, there's no, when you go to Britain, when you go to London, there's no like London food. It's just all like the top hits from everywhere else. You can get food from like the Americas, India, Pakistan. It's just, there's a lot of food there. And if you want to eat good, you avoid the British stuff. So we had like, I had some lamb there. I tried some chicken that was like sauteed in different ways. That's probably, I guess I'm just now. I love spicy food, so you could go. I went to Dave's Hot Chicken. I got the spiciest one on the menu. That one knocked me around a little bit. That might have been the craziest thing I've ever had, just because the spice level is just really, really unbearable when you get to something like that.
Okay. All right, question 14. What's the craziest or the funniest story that ever happened between you and a fan?
Me and a fan. Well, there's this one time this crazy guy after a show, he cornered me. He's like, "Will you please come on my podcast? Will you please come on my podcast? I have this giant hat. It'll be a hit, believe me." So I feel like it would be that. I'm kidding.
All right. That sounds like a fucking asshole, really.
Oh my goodness.
He bothered you that many times?
No, I'm just kidding. The joke was about you and the hat.
No, I'm aware of it. I was going with it. I know.
No, I'm excited to be here. You're always coming out and supporting the mic, so I'm glad to give back to a comedy supporter. And I just want to be the sort of normal one to prepare your viewers before Pete Handegraff comes in and blows everything up. So I feel like it's nice to have a bit of a cushion here.
Have you, now I know, like you said, you've only been doing this a few years, but have you had any weird interactions with fans?
Not really. I haven't even had like a drunk heckler. I feel like, I don't know, when I'm on stage, I'm a bit of a louder talking person, so it sort of tunes out anything crazy. I've had like people come up and talk to me after the show, but no crazies yet. I feel like after the indecent exposure charge, maybe that will start to happen for me, but as of right now,
not even any drunken women trying to take you home?
Not yet, but now with the golden microphone that I'm going to be bringing everywhere, we'll see. We'll see if I can arrange that.
Nice. Okay. All right, question 15. If you died and were reincarnated as an animal, what animal would you want to come back as?
Let's go bald eagle. I feel like the bald eagle's got it sort of good because you can't be killed by a hunter, and you're sort of like the apex flying creature, and you're like naturally like respected. A golden eagle or a bald eagle would be the top choice for me, and just being able to fly, that'd be awesome.
Okay. All right, question 16. If you had to go on a cross-country road trip and you had to choose one comedian, one musician, and one athlete to go with you, who would you choose?
Okay, one comedian, one athlete, one magician.
Musician.
Musician. Magician would be a completely different story and probably a lot worse off of a road trip. Let's see. Give me Russell Brand, Michael Vick, and Adam Levine.
Okay.
A serious answer, I feel like dead or alive, I feel like Rodney Dangerfield would be a really good road trip buddy. I feel like he'd keep everybody going, and I feel like he knew where like the best snacks would be. I feel like he's got a lot of good dad jokes that would keep us through. I really liked Jimmy Buffett. He was sort of my guy. And he was very good at the acoustic stuff, so give him a guitar in the back of the car, and that would be really good. And then athlete, just somebody at their top of their, maybe like a Tom Brady, just somebody with a lot of stories, and he's done the roast, so he has a sense of humor. I feel like that would be a really good car ride right there.
Okay. All right. Question 17. Can you tell me an interesting story out of your career?
Out of my career. Interesting comedy story?
Yeah.
I did a joke once. It was a bit of a spoof on a headline. I don't do it anymore, but it was about like Tim Waltz has recently announced plans to cut down on carjacking. His first act to ban the playing of light jazz CD over car stereo is because Tim Waltz is so old he thinks carjacking is the act of jacking off in your car. And I told that joke at a show at Dublin's, and somebody in the back stood up and he went, "Woo! Yeah! I love jerking off in my car." I was just taken aback that somebody would openly admit in like a room of 60 to 70 people that, and I just went, God, I hope that guy's not an Uber driver. And that was one of my favorite comedy stories from just performing live.
Okay. All right. Question 18. If you were on death row, now not death row records, actual prison death row, what would be
I got
your
some
last
flow.
meal?
You never know.
What would be your last meal?
Last meal? Oh, I really like, if we're going maybe just an American cheeseburger, milkshake, throwing some fries there. I feel like if you're going out, you want something familiar, you want a classic. Maybe you go for the steak. Maybe you go for the fancy steak as well. I could see that play, but just I know an Oreo McFlurry is in there for me for sure. That's non-negotiable. If that's not happening, I'm not even gonna die. I'm just gonna find a way to stay alive. I need the Oreo McFlurry.
Okay. All right, question 19. If you could have a conversation with one person from history, who would it be?
I feel like, oh my goodness, somebody interesting. Like, there's two ways. I feel like it would be really interesting to talk to a lot of the comedy people who have passed on, but also if we're going like history, I feel like George Washington or somebody like that, just somebody who's like seen it all, like, and knows a lot of information. Abraham Lincoln as well. I feel like a very kind person. He would be somebody really interesting to talk about and just learn more about his times and stuff that was going on back then, you know?
Okay. All right. Question 20, last question. If you could live as a person of a different race for 30 days, what race would you choose and why?
Interesting. I feel like I'm Norwegian now. I have a lot of family members who are Irish. I'd like to go that route because I feel like it would really help me advance my drinking capabilities. I feel like there's also, I have a little bit of the red hair going on now, but to be full ginger, I feel like that would be a draw for comedy shows. So I'm feeling like Irish would be the way to go for me.
Yeah, but that's not race, though.
I'd go. This is hard. This is like you're wanting to make this the first and last podcast I do before I'm sent to jail here.
You said you got a punchable face. You might get punched after this question at your next comedy stand-up.
I might get punched. I know. What's a group of people very far away so that I'm not worried that they're going to come after me? I'd go for.
How about Asian? They're small.
We go for Asian because they're on the other side of the world, and if they had a problem with that, it would take them a long time to get here and punch me. So we're going to go with those guys.
And you like Chinese food?
I do. There's a lot of good food over there. Lots of good worldly food that I feel like people should get out and try. You know.
So if you were Asian for 30 days, you'd be okay with eating all the same food. So.
Yeah, and I feel like just because you're Asian doesn't mean you have to eat all that stuff. You can still eat a cheeseburger, John.
I know, but I'm just saying that you like Chinese food, so
yeah, it'd be pretty fun. I don't know if that's something that I'll actively pursue, but maybe I'll talk to some scientists. We'll see if we can make it happen.
All right. Well, listen, I know that people that haven't seen your comedy yet, you kind of are all over the place with your comedy, but you like to end with a newscast. And now I don't know if anybody's ever brought this up to you before. I'm sure they have. I brought it up to you before. And I think when you do the newscast, that it kind of gives you a little bit of personality of Jim Carrey. Do you agree with that?
Jim Carrey. I feel like Jim Carrey's been a big one that I've been compared to a lot. I feel like just mostly because of tall, skinny white guy in the face. I've been told that I have a pretty similar facial structure to Jim, but I could see that. I could definitely see that. He's been a major inspiration for me along my comedy career.
Well, would you mind, before we end the podcast, just kind of giving people a small example of your newscaster?
All righty. Yeah, I can do a bit of a newscaster joke that I have about this podcast here. So we'll see how that goes. Today, comedian Brekken Thompson appeared on the Truth in Company podcast. The podcast is named after the fact that all of its viewers have a Truth Social account. Oh my god, that's the direction where I went with this one. I feel like I don't know, might have been a home run. Maybe that'll work its way into the act.
Okay. Well, listen, you got anything to say to your fans or where you're going to be next before we end the podcast?
I'll be just come out to the local open mics. Tuesday at the Jade Fountain at 8, Wednesday at the Caddy Shacks whenever they decide they want to do that, and Thursdays at Dublin Brew Pub at 8 p.m. There's a lot of good local comics around here, and just come out and support local comedy, please. We need people. We can't do it for ourselves. It'd be very sad.
And one last thing, if there's somebody out there listening that's scared to get up on a local mic or open mic, what advice do you have for them, real quick, just to get them out there?
I'd say just do it, and if it doesn't go well, nobody's gonna remember. I mean, we've seen, if you've been doing it for long enough, you've seen like 200 people just try it once, and as long as you're not like some horrible evil person who's like starting fights on stage and battling the crowd members, if it doesn't go well, you can just go your separate way, and we'll all forget about you in the best way possible. You know,
All right.
there's a
And
bit
with
of
that,
anonymity.
with that, the truth has spoken. Thanks again, Brekken.
Thank you too. It was very nice talking to you.